Welcome to Show Jumping Life. I'm Catie Staszak, and I'm at the beautiful Deeridge Derby in Wellington. And today I'm joined by Big R-rated judge R. Scot Evans. Scott will be judging the USHJ International Hunter Derby here today. It's the second round, a handy where the top 24 will return. 55 entries contested the first classic round over the beautiful course here at Deeridge Farms. And this is a pretty special event. Scott, what makes the Deeridge Derby unique even from other derbies that you're judging?
Well, Catie, I have to say it's the first time that I can actually say we're jumping jumps in somebody's backyard. And it's an international class that's unlike anything else that we see in our country, I have to say. Having known the Jacobs family for many, many years, their dedication to the sport is truly second to none, I have to say. And to be able to have this opportunity to be out on this field in this beautiful setting, the footing is excellent. The jumps, the first time they've all ever been jumped, they're all brand new jumps, course designed by Steve Stevens, first class all the way. And now we have horses from all over the country and from every circuit that you can imagine right now, and they all want to jump out on this field.
It's not a bad day at the office, that's for certain.
Not a bad day at the office, but my other judges that I'm working with, Linda Andrasani, again, Sissy Wicks and Bob Crandall, the four of us are loving it. To me, what we love the most is that we're seeing the best horses in the country, Derby horses, galloping to the jumps. We're not seeing horses slow and going backwards. They're picking up the stride. Steve Stevens is saying one thing: I want to see you go forward. I want to see you stay on pace and jump in beautiful form.
And that's definitely what we've seen reflected in the judging so far. Some horses that have been a little bit more open in stride, maybe even getting a little silly or playing with their heads after the jump, but really just getting a nice gallop going in this big field. What are you looking for? First, in a classic round, what does an ideal classic round for you look like?
Well, it's interesting. Once again, we go back to that showing expression from the horse's point of view as far as the jump is concerned. We're looking for, it's a jumping contest at the end of the day. So if and when there is a little expression on the backside of a jump, a shake of the head or a play, yes, we did see that yesterday, but you're out on a big field and you're at an open gallop, and we're not going to take that many points off. People say, don't you take a lot off for that? Not necessarily. Again, it's up to it's our decision. We're figuring out how to go, whether it's a little bit here or a little bit there. But all in all, I'd have to say, speaking from my cohorts, my judges that I work with, we're all cheering for a top round.
What's the dialogue like in the judging box when you're on a panel with someone and you're coming up with a score? What types of things do you guys discuss?
What I like to say that we are cheering for the horses and riders much more than people realize. You know, we want the best out of the class. We want the class to judge itself. That's what we call it. It judges itself. We're just there to put it in order. And I think that that's something that people don't always realize. I say it's often like a puzzle, starting literally with a clean slate with every single class.
Now, today we'll see the top 24 from those 55 return in the handy round. How does your mentality change when you're now judging the handiness and over more of a handier, more technical course with turns and rollbacks and trot fences and things like that? How do you change gears in your head and your judging?
Well, I have to say, having judged the past couple of days here and seen the handy courses that Steve Stevens has come up with, which have been simply fantastic, close to what you'd see in a jump-off. I mean, you see jumping and turning, places to show your stride, landing and finding an inside turn. If there's that inside turn that you can do nicely and in a neat way, then you're going to see the riders take advantage of that. If there's a little bit of a question coming off of a gallop, they may be a little conservative, and that's all right too. We take that into consideration as we're judging. So I'd have to say it is really on an individual basis. We have some favorites coming into this, as you see our scores that reflect it, but it's anybody's game, I have to say, and that we are totally open for a great class this afternoon.
The handy round can really shake things up in the standings, as we've seen many times, and the scoring changes a little bit. It's not just your base score and additional points for jumping a high option. There's also a handy score, and that goes up to 10. What does a 10 handy round look like to you?
Neat turns, forward pace, consistent jumps and quality jumps. One of our mentors, Rodney Jenkins, used to always say, remember, it's a jumping contest. And the Derby today is a jumping contest. People say, oh, well, you know, the judges in the past have been a little lenient about them being maybe not the highest quality hunters. Not anymore. It's first class all the way.
Now, speaking of first class, we have the top horses and riders here, and they're all really turning in some nice rounds. How do you make a decision? How do you differentiate between these top combinations?
It's a good question. The way to differentiate really is personal preference. And when we can get to that point rather than nitpicking and having to write this or a little bit of that, oftentimes when I know I'm having one of those moments, I get chills. I get that moment, but I don't write anything down. I'll just put my pen down and I'll just watch. And because I guess muscle memory, like we all have, you memorize that over the years you go, that's where my 100 is. If we have 100 in our mind, what does 100 feel like? What's it look like? What's it ride like? And be able to go from there. That's what I like to look at. Perhaps I'm a glass half full kind of guy, but I think the majority of us as judges are the same.
Well, we're all going to be looking to be feeling some chills this afternoon, and we're going to have some great combinations. The Deeridge Derby, there's nothing quite like it, and we're all very lucky to be here. So thank you to the Jacobs family for putting this on for the second year in a row. Hopefully there'll be more, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here at some of those. Thank you so much, Scott, and best of luck today. I think you're going to need it over this course.
Can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Catie Staszak here for Show Jumping Life with our Scot Evans.